Here's 5 red flags that a martial art may be fake. These days everybody goes on about fake martial arts.
Let's try to define what a fake martial art is. A fake martial art is, I'm going to give you my impression and you can feel free to leave your own. You're supposed to move. Sorry. Okay.
So what is a fake martial art? Well, the common sense view is that fake is anything that doesn't work in a real fight. A martial art that doesn't work in a real fight. Keep watching and I'll identify 5 red flags that signal a fake martial art. Of course, feel free to leave your comments and thoughts below. It's always good to hear what people think a fake martial artist is. Here's 5 red flags that a martial art may be fake. The first red flag. Do students of the art train with a fully resisting opponent? Live training against a resisting opponent allows the student to work out the kinks in the technique, to see what works and what doesn't work, essentially to test it under duress. Now, testing your technique against a live resisting opponent doesn't necessarily always have to revolve around boxing or hard sparring. It could be simple drills with live resistance in which the student has to figure out whether the technique can work or not work, or even problem solve. Of course, a major problem is those that believe in secret technique. Now, this is a big red flag in itself. Any martial art that proclaims to have secret techniques to finish a fight is something that I often raise my eyebrows at.
I'm not ever too convinced about pain compliance martial arts, I've got to be honest, but I'm not going to say that it doesn't work and I don't want to disparage other people that teach that. But pain compliance, where you're looking at wrist locks, not wrist locks, sorry, because wrist locks do work, there's no doubt about that. Pressure points, for example. Pressure points are something that I generally would not advise in a real fight. The simple reason being is that in a real fight, most people are going to be energized, they're going to be angry, they're going to be aggressive, they're going to have adrenaline, they may even be drunk, they may be on drugs, depending on where you are in the world. There could be many factors to it. To go in and simply say you're going to apply a pressure point and you're going to press them, and this is the sort of nonsense I've seen in women's self-defense classes. You know, someone grabs you, grab you around the throat, and then they pinch here, and they pinch and they pinch. You know, the only thing that's going to happen if you pinch a guy in that situation is you're going to turn him on. Right? Don't do it. Don't do it at all. Pinching, pressure pointing is not going to, in my opinion, dealing with very angry people at times, is not going to work when you've got someone who's coming at you who really means you harm.
There are no secret techniques for street fights. There are no secret techniques for self-defense. Other than hard work in preparation, mentality and mindset in fighting. There's no secret techniques. There's no special moves. Another red flag for a fake martial art is if they believe that sparring is unessential. If they do not believe in contact sparring. Of course, we all know that sparring doesn't represent real fighting, but what it does do is creates a sense of anxiety. It puts pressure on the individual. It forces them to think when they actually have live punches or kicks or locks or throws or whatever your art is coming at you. It's an essential part of training that engages the brain, the emotions, and most importantly, gets you functioning under pressure.
I teach simple strategies and concepts of how to defend yourself. These strategies are simple ideas. They're not the be-all or end-all, and I accept that in combat that you're going to get hit. And I never say to anybody that's not the case.
Also consider the approach of the art. Is it logical? Is it efficient? Does it make sense?
So, best pressure point, bang, bridge of the nose. Smack the guy in the bridge of the nose and smack it. Now don't argue with me and tell me that's not going to work and that's a fake technique, because I know if I go in here and I smash him one on the bridge of the nose, that's enough of a pressure point to stop him, right?
Does it have practical application? Is it simplistic enough that under pressure in the real world, when someone's raining blows down on the side of your head, that you don't have to apply anything over complicated, but most importantly, you can focus on a strategy of getting the job done. In defending yourself,
That's the difference between a fake martial artist and someone that's actually talking about something that actually can't be denied. A punch in the nose is going to hurt.
Does the approach make sense? If it doesn't, then that should be a flag of concern. That should be red.
If I chop you bang on a strut into the neck, and we've got to be careful about talking about this because this is YouTube and I don't want this video taken down, because it will be taken down, is that these sort of areas of striking and hitting may not be easy to access in a real fight where someone's really swinging coming at you, but it certainly doesn't mean that it's fake. What it means is that you've got to work harder to be able to do it.
Ultimately, many people would say the difference between a fake martial art and a real martial art is whether it's been tested. Whether it's been tested in a fight, whether it's been tested in sport, or whether it's been tested in combat of some form. Let's point out the obvious. To train a martial art for self-defense, there is a certain element of blind faith. Because ultimately, even when you're training, you're not training in a life or death situation. If you've gone to a martial art to learn how to protect yourself, within that environment, you're very rarely put in a situation where you have to defend your life. So like any of us, until it actually happens, you don't know how you're going to respond.
So fake martial arts, anything that involves something that's no touch, anything where someone's telling you that you're going to get into a fight, the person's going to do A, B and C, and you're therefore going to do, grab me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is really obviously giving you nonsense. But if someone's saying to you, look, you know what, this is a basic strategy, tie the arms up, take control of them, keep them occupied and strike them, what's so fake about that? Why is that so fake? At the end of the day, okay, it's a simple idea.
So what's the takeaway from this? Well, ultimately, to understand what's fake and not fake, you have to look at the methods of training, the philosophy, the practicality of how they train, the curriculum if you like. If it involves aliveness and active resistance, then it is likely to work. It is likely to give you something, because ultimately, self-defense, fighting, is about mental preparation. It's about having the mindset to be able to fight and defend yourself. And if you've never been hit and you believe in magic moments, and most importantly chi and chi power, and balls as we were talking about, chi balls that is, then you're likely to come a cropper when you're punched through that chi ball. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for that. Fake martial arts versus no martial arts. Who cares? It's all about concepts. At the end of the day, you have to make it work. Thanks for watching.